Yeah, so we were saying about the fact that, when you date someone and you're in a relationship or you're not, like when you're looking for someone, if you're a man, it's kind of easier for you to look both to older women, but also like to younger women. And like you don't have to worry about your age that much just because your age is just a number and it doesn't like involve anything concerning like your, I don't know, reproduction abilities. Where if you're a woman, then your age is really sometimes important. And I don't like that it is this way, but nature decided that it is this way. But a woman has to like, be mindful of a certain age just because of their like reproductive system might be challenge going like further with the age.
There's this concept, right, of SMV. It's the sexual market value. And I'm going to make this now crystal clear. It basically means, in short words, it means that a man's sexual market value is predicated on status, finance, all that stuff. Like socioeconomics is number one for a woman, looking certain things in a man. For a man, like, and again, I'm not going to say this is like 100% true for every single man, because I think it's wrong to put all people in one pot, because we're all different. We think
Right.
differently, and depending on our childhood, or depending on our values, or depending on our perceptions, like you can never say this is true for everyone, but it holds true for a big chunk of people. For men, it's like when they look at a woman, and there's this quote from Marilyn Monroe in one of her movies. I'm just trying to remember. It's like she said, for a woman to be pretty, it's the same as for a man to be successful, for a man to have like a good financial background, like assets and stuff. I know she didn't say it like this, but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
just rephrasing her words, what she's trying to say is that it helps. Like for a woman to be young and pretty is like for a man to be of good socioeconomics, for a man to be of good financial standards. I think that holds true in the Western world today in so many instances. But again, I'm not like being
Yeah.
polarized here. I'm just saying that I'm seeing this a lot. What I'm seeing specifically in our industry, and we're talking about people who are like working online, who are like entrepreneurs, who are investors, like a lot of them, they get so busy, Susanna, working, creating wealth, that the business is the number one priority. Now you might think, well, that's crazy. They should not prioritize their businesses that much. I get it. Building a business is tough, right? So let's say they are coming to Italy, and I'm just trying to put this again in perspective. They work their whole lives and potentially for years or decades, they build up wealth, they build up money. They were not ready to settle down before. And there are a lot of men like that. So they want to come to Italy. Like, what would you say are their like chances of having success in Italy's dating scene? Do you perceive it to be the same as what I had explained just now? That men of this kind of quality that have good socioeconomics, like that have a good financial background and that have assets and are like intelligent, do you perceive these men to have a better chance in Italy's dating world than others, or would you say it doesn't matter as much?
I mean, I feel like it's a very general topic and it really like depends on everyone's perception, right? It depends on what you value. There are some people that don't value money as an asset or like, so I think it depends. But generally speaking, someone who has money and success is also someone who I think sometimes in the majority of cases has a very good work ethic. And if you have a very good work ethic, I feel like a partner is going to look at that and apply that to their personal life, their romantic life. And that means that they're going to have a really good family ethic as well, just because working and family kind of sometimes go in the same direction until you reach a certain age. So let's say you're 30 and it's okay if it's your life is work driven. It's not, I mean, it's not the best thing for the whole life, but if you are in your 20s and 30s, it's okay to be a little bit more work driven that you are later on in your life, right? And if you have the work ethic, it means that you will reach potentially a good success, and that success is going to be appealing to women or to your possible partners just because it will represent stability. And that's something that I feel like people put together even not thinking about that, right? Like I think about a working man, and I'm not thinking about money and assets and security because I can provide that for myself, it's okay. But like I'm not thinking about someone that has money, I'm thinking about someone that was driven enough to get the life that they wanted, and someone that was, you know, motivated enough and constant enough to just, you know, provide for himself. So that's what I feel like it's appealing, right? I don't know if that makes sense, but I feel like the appeal doesn't come from the physical assets that you can bring to the table. It comes from the way you worked really hard to get those assets. And that's why I feel like it's valued in this society, but I feel like in a lot of other communities, being work, if you, of course, like no one is going to like someone that has a lot of money but that hates their life and hates their job. Like that's not appealing to anyone. But someone that believes in what they do, worked hard for that, and gained a pretty good financial security within what they do, I think that's like a very good point in the dating game.
I like what you pointed out about the success in the business world being connected to other areas of life, which is like how life should work anyway. I had a mentor. I mean, he's no longer my mentor right now, but he mentored me during certain phases of my work. And he told me something, Susanna, that stuck in my mind for a long time, which held very true for him. He was like, Gerald, everything and anything I do 100%. I don't do half-assed things. And that really stuck with me because when I looked at him, this is what he stood for. When you looked at him, it's like, this is him. I don't want to mention his name because he is a public figure, so I'm not going to do that. Taking a look at his family, he got 3 children. What he does when he does it, 100%. There's no like doing other stuff, like being on the phone or texting or like, you know, not giving 100%, which is how I think everyone should perceive everything. Whether you are like going for a walk with your dog, let's be real, or if you're like working, 100%. If you are with your friends, 100%. If you're out with your lover on a date, 100%. You want to give 100% all the time. This was a very powerful quote that I didn't hear just once. I heard this many times. He told to me, quality over quantity. And that also stuck with me. And it's so true. Like if you can produce high quality, you can do very well with a lot of things, especially in business. So like I said, I definitely like what you pointed out about it being like a proof of concept, if you will. You don't just look at like the numbers and the assets and you're going to be all thrilled. Oh, what can I take?
Right.
You know, I mean, that's not the important part. The important part is to see what has he accomplished and how has he done it? Can he replicate this in another area?
Right.
And women like listening to what you're saying and kind of resonating with what I've heard from women in all different places. Like women want to have a man who is certain of what he wants.
Yeah.
Right? You don't want to be with a guy who changes his mind every other day, or he's not certain, or he can't give 100%, this and that. Like this seems to be very universal, whether this is Mexico, whether this is Italy, whether this is Malaysia. Like this seems to be pretty universal. Like this is a trait that women are very attracted to. Now, to all of you guys listening who have like a business, or you don't even need to have a business, but you're just a guy that gives 100%. And I just want to pass the knowledge on to you that was passed on to me by my mentor, because it's a concept worth passing on to you guys, where I feel like this has really changed my life. Let's be real here too. We're not perfect. You're not going to give 100% all the time because you can't. You're human. You're going to make mistakes, but you're going to try. And that's the point. Another quote, which is really important, which applies to everything, especially in nomadism and expatriatism, which is that if you're on the wrong path, do the following. You're not just going to jump onto the other path. This isn't how it works. You change the trajectory. It's like if your thinking is like negative in a certain sense, or if, for instance, you get angry about something, it's like you change the trajectory. You try to reach for other options. This is like the key.